outside, and Beals warns she'll regret accepting the challenge. As she transforms into her terrifying demon form, Beals is instantly electrocuted by the barrier that Azusa had set up beforehand. Beals reminds her that they agreed to a fair fight, so Azusa apologizes. Despite being in rough shape, Beals still wants to battle, but she suddenly faints. Azusa brings her inside and uses healing magic to help her recover, although she questions whether it was wise since Beals is a demon. When Beals regains consciousness, she realizes Azusa is actually kind. She surprises everyone by saying that once she's fully healed, she'd like to try Alara's energy drink again. Alara is stunned because she believed Beals almost died from it and wanted revenge. Beals explains that she drank the energy drink during an all-nighter, and although it made her feel energized, she overexerted herself and got sick. She also reveals that the Demon King enjoyed the drink, and it became a hit among demons. She thinks Alara should produce more. She apologizes for the misunderstanding, and Azusa is relieved they didn't end up fighting for no reason. Alara then shares that she's considering moving her factory to their continent since she was abandoned back home. It would also allow her to stay close to them. Azusa agrees, saying they have enough room and can even rotate cooking duties. Falfa and Shalsha start asking Beals questions about herself, which she finds adorable. She even jokes about adopting one of them, but Azusa firmly rejects the idea. Alara asks Azusa if she's ever had a romantic experience, and Azusa admits she hasn't. Alara, surprised, says she only talks about love because she's still young. Curious, Azusa asks Alara's age, and she says she's around 200, which is still considered young for an elf. She asks Falfa and Shalsha if they like anyone, and they reply that they love their mother, making Azusa smile with joy. The next morning, Laika prepares breakfast for everyone, but before they can eat, she announces that she must return to her hometown. The news shocks everyone, and Azusa asks if something's wrong, explaining that she thinks of Laika as family. Laika assures her there's no issue. She just needs to attend her sister's wedding. She invites them all to join her, so they set off for Rocco Volcano. They enjoy the scenery during the trip on Laika's back, though Alara nearly throws up, so they pause for a short break. Eventually, they arrive at their destination, where red dragons are gathering. They're welcomed by some of Laika's juniors from the all-girls school she attended. As they explore the area, Alara accidentally steps on a ceremonial plate, and a dragon mistakenly grabs her, thinking she's food, but quickly lets her go. Soon after, they meet Laika's parents, although her dad is so loud they have to cover their ears. Laika introduces them to her older sister Lila and her fiancé. When Alara asks how they got together, Lila explains they were childhood friends who reunited after 8 years and decided to marry. Suddenly, a group of blue dragons from the HTH continent launches an attack. Known for their cruelty and wild behavior, they use freezing breath to turn everything cold. Their leader, Fura, declares she came to sabotage the wedding because she's older than Lila but still unmarried. She warns that her tribe will freeze the volcano. With no other option, the red dragons decide to fight back. Falfa and Shalsha are frightened, but Azusa reassures them that she'll handle it. She calls out to Alara, who's pretending to be dead, but a dragon nearly steps on her, forcing her to get up. Azusa quickly grabs the girls and starts running. A dragon attacks with an ice blast, but Azusa counters it with fire magic. Meanwhile, Laika faces off against Fura, and the two begin fighting. Azusa initially plans to stay out of it since it's not her business, but when a dragon targets her, she knocks it out with a powerful kick. She tells Alara to take her daughters to safety, then flies into the sky, preparing to use her full strength to defend her loved ones. All eyes turn to Azusa as she unleashes her flames. The blue dragons swarm her, launching attacks from every direction, but she defends herself with ease. She defeats them one by one, causing them to crash to the ground. The red dragons watch in awe, realizing how strong she really is. Fura is stunned and wonders how a human could beat dragons with sheer physical power. Azusa explains that it's all thanks to consistency. She lands a kick on Fura, who manages to withstand the hit and counters with her ice breath. But Azusa notices that Fura only relies on that single attack. Taking advantage of the situation, Azusa blasts her with fire magic and gains the upper hand. While Fura is distracted, Azusa delivers a powerful aerial kick, slamming her into the ground. The sight terrifies the remaining blue dragons, who retreat in panic. The red dragons cheer for Azusa, chanting her name. But she warns them it's not over yet. A second wave of blue dragons is approaching. As they prepare for the next confrontation, Laika admits that all she really wanted was for her sister to have a beautiful wedding. Azusa reassures her that everything will be okay. When they reach the volcano's edge, they're surprised to find the incoming blue dragons already trapped in a magic circle, having their power drained. They notice the blue dragons trapped by a magic circle draining their power and wonder who did it. Beelzebub shows up, revealing that she came to relax in the hot springs but dealt with the noisy blue dragons using her demon magic. Azusa is impressed that she managed to defeat 5 blue dragons alone, but Beelzebub shrugs it off, reminding them she's a high-ranking demon who has lived for 3,000 years. So it wasn't difficult. She wonders if Azusa could beat her in a fair fight, but Azusa isn't interested in fighting and hugs her instead. Azusa asks Fura to switch into her human form so they can negotiate. Fura agrees and asks what they want. Laika presents her with a bill for the damage caused during the attack, which shocks her with how expensive it is. Laika warns that if she doesn't pay, she'll be stuck there forever, so Fura reluctantly agrees. Azusa proposes a peace treaty banning further fights between red and blue dragons. Fura protests, saying bullying red dragons is their life's purpose, but Azusa threatens to imprison her if she doesn't cooperate. Fura agrees, and Beelzebub and Azusa become official witnesses, warning that there will be serious consequences for breaking the agreement. Afterward, all the dragons take human form and enjoy the wedding festivities. Everyone, including Fura, offers their congratulations to the newlyweds. When Lila jokingly says Fura will never get married, Fura angrily curses her. That evening, Laika asks Azusa if she can rest her head on her lap, explaining that her sister used to do that when she was nervous. Azusa agrees. Meanwhile, Alara gets drunk and passes out, so Beelzebub carries her, warning her not to vomit. She invites everyone to stay at the hot spring resort, saying she'll be staying there too, and they accept. While relaxing, Azusa reflects on how they really feel like a family. She talks about everyone, her 2 daughters, Beelzebub and Laika as her sisters, but forgets to mention Alara. Azusa jokingly calls Alara the troublemaker. Alara switches her cooking day with Azusa, leading the others to think she's moving out. Feeling sad, they throw her a farewell party. Alara clears the misunderstanding, saying she's not leaving. She's just searching for a new factory location. Later, Alara returns home completely worn out, worrying Azusa, who tells her not to overdo it. Alara insists she'll be fine after an energy drink. Azusa warns her to return before sunset, but Alara mentions that her factory is haunted by a ghost, scaring off local workers and forcing her to do everything alone. Shalsha notes that if the ghost never leaves, it's likely a bound spirit stuck where it died. Alara begs Azusa to get rid of it, but Azusa says she's not good with ghosts. Still, she agrees to help, only if her helper joins too. Azusa uses summoning magic to call Beelzebub, but she messes up the chant and accidentally drops her into a cold water tub, angering her. Beelzebub demands to know why she was summoned, and when they explain it's just for a ghost, she's annoyed. However, Falfa and Shalsha express their faith in her, so she agrees to help. But upon learning the ghost only appears at night, she gets irritated they summoned her too early. That evening, they all head to the factory. Beelzebub seems confident, reassuring Azusa that they picked the right person. Azusa and Alara are scared, so they hold hands tightly. Beelzebub asks Alara where the ghost appears, and she points to the room. However, both Azusa and Alara hesitate to enter. Beelzebub drags them in, and after a struggle captures the ghost whose name is Rosalie. Alara asks what she's doing there, Rosalie explains that centuries ago she was told she'd marry into a noble family. She thought it was because of her charm and good manners, but later realized her parents had sold her off. Alara questions whether she was really well-mannered, as she doesn't seem like it now. Rosalie says she changed after spending hundreds of years as a ghost. She insists the place belongs to her now. Azusa wonders what to do next, and Beelzebub suggests erasing her. But Azusa rejects the idea, saying that's not right. Alara suggests that Rosalie just move away, but Rosalie says she's tried many times and can't. Beelzebub then shares that a spirit can move on by possessing a living body, ideally someone with weak willpower. Everyone looks at Alara as the perfect candidate. They tie her to a chair, and Rosalie successfully enters her body. Azusa invites her to live with them, wanting Rosalie to find happiness. Rosalie is touched and calls Azusa her older sister, promising to protect her. Rosalie insists she'll leave Alara's body even if it kills her, but Azusa reminds her she's already dead. Once they reach Azusa's home, Rosalie tries to return to her ghost form but can't exit Alara's body. She pleads with Beelzebub for help, and Lala wonders if having two souls inside could harm Alara. Beelzebub admits it could be fatal, which worries Rosalie. She tries to end her own life to save Alara, but Azusa stops her, pointing out that doing so would also kill Alara. They hold a meeting to come up with a solution. Laika suggests they swirl Rosalie out, just like how she removes stuck cookies from jars. Azusa spins her and tosses her far away, but it doesn't work. Laika then says smacking the jar works sometimes, so Shalsha hits Alara, only hurting her. Laika brings up breaking the jar as a last resort, so Beelzebub prepares to kill Alara, but Azusa stops her in time. Falfa suggests surprising Rosalie. Azusa and Laika fly her high into the sky and drop her. But even that fails. They try several more ideas, but nothing works until they get her drunk, hoping Alara's consciousness will take over once Rosalie falls asleep. The plan succeeds. Alara wakes up confused about how she got there. Then they dunk her into cold water, finally forcing Rosalie's spirit out. Rosalie apologizes for the trouble she caused. Alara admits that getting workers back to the factory will be hard, but Azusa has a plan. They introduce Rosalie to the town as a kind ghost who helps people with her powers. The townsfolk accept her, and Rosalie is happy to have made new friends. Beelzebub then congratulates Azusa, telling her she's earned the Demon Medal of Honor. It's a rare award given to humans beloved by demons who've made outstanding contributions to society. Beelzebub believes Azusa deserves it for stopping the war between red and blue dragons. Everyone celebrates the news. Though Azusa doesn't seem excited, she agrees to accept it after seeing everyone's joy. Beelzebub announces that the ceremony is in 3 weeks and promises to come pick them up. Azusa asks where it'll be held, and Beelzebub reveals it's in demon territory. Everyone is shocked. She reassures them that demons have changed. They won't harm humans as long as proper manners are shown. The group worries that Alara might cause trouble because she lacks etiquette. Alara tries to make excuses to avoid attending, but Shalsha says missing it would be deeply insulting to the demon realm. Rosalie asks if she's invited since she's a ghost. Azusa smiles and says, "Of course, she's part of their family." They realize Rosalie needs a new outfit for the ceremony, but she explains that she can't change her clothes. Azusa wonders if there's a clothing store for ghosts, but Alara explains there wouldn't be. Ghosts don't have money to buy clothes. Shalsha mentions she recently met a researcher who studies ghosts, so they visit him. The researcher tells them that ghosts wear the same clothes they died in because those clothes are tied to their memories. Rosalie gets discouraged and says they should give up, but Azusa remembers her unique magic ability. She spends the entire night crafting a spell to make a new dress. After multiple failed tries, she finally creates a stunning dress for Rosalie. Everyone is thrilled to see her wearing it. Beelzebub soon returns, riding a flying leviathan that has a full building on its back. She shows them the guest room and reveals a large bath where they meet another leviathan named Vonia. Beelzebub orders Vonia back to work, and Vonia explains the water helps keep their skin smooth, but soaking too long could melt them. She introduces herself and mentions the Leviathan they're riding is her older sister, Fatla. They take turns flying and hosting guests. Vonia says she's also prepared food for everyone. Beelzebub tells them they can ask Vonia for anything, and Azusa feels like the demons are treating them too nicely. Beelzebub explains it's all deserved. Azusa ended a war, so her name will go down in history. They enjoy a delicious meal and a relaxing warm bath. That night, while everyone else sleeps, Rosalie looks up at the night sky and admires its beauty. Alara wakes up and decides to take a bath but accidentally joins her. Rosalie thanks her for building the factory, saying it let her leave the place where she died and finally see beautiful scenery again. Alara tells her they're all one family, so there's no need to talk about favors between them. Rosalie smiles, touched by her words. The next morning, everyone notices Alara is missing and panics, thinking she stayed in the bath too long. But she soon appears and explains she just fell off the bed. Beelzebub then shows them the royal capital, continuing their journey to the ceremony. Beelzebub informs them that they'll first have an audience with the Demon King and reveals that the ceremony is actually scheduled for the next day. Everyone gets nervous about meeting the Demon King. During the journey, she tells them about the different demon tribes. Some look like humans, while others have beast-like appearances. Azusa questions whether meeting the Demon King is really necessary, but Beelzebub explains that since he'll be the one presenting the award, it's better to see him in advance. Laika and Alara start panicking, worried that a small mistake might lead to a gruesome death. Beelzebub gets furious and warns that she will kill them herself if they dare disrespect her king. The demon castle is shaped like a confusing maze, intentionally designed to disorient any intruders. Once inside the throne room, they come across a girl named Pecora, who warmly welcomes them. However, Alara tells her to move aside since they're here to meet the Demon King. Pecora notes that she needs to conceal her true identity for her own safety. But just as things are getting more intriguing, that's where the video ends. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.